Welcome to week 14.
14 of these.
Organization 14, just to offset it.
We're going to have 3 different Roxases and 3 different Aquases.
And four different Soras.
Like, no mouse, no rats.
At the end, he's just going to disappear because the plot needs to.
Oh, absolutely.
One of us is just going to vanish.
There's an entire Shadow Realm, and we're not talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Here.
Yeah, one of us is just going to vanish into the ether at the end of this.
What is your name? No, what is your real name?
I don't have my memories. I can't say it.
I mean, we've had 3 different titles in this series that had memories in the title, and nobody can remember who the fuck they are.
Remember a fucking thing because memories are food for the darkness.
Oh God! It's not only hearts; it's memories.
It's memoirs.
Pretty soon they'll just become a thing.
Memoirs of a Geisha.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Oh man, I forgot all about that movie.
It's fucking like 13 years old now too. It was still a really
How old is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
18, probably 19. I think that shit came out in 2000. I think it was like 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dog. Like a lot of those like just oh my God groundbreaking movies now are just old as fuck.
Like Matrix, like all that shit.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking about what was it, Metropolis the other day, like the anime movie, the more recent one.
Yep.
And there was a clip somebody showed on Twitter of the animation. I'm like, oh my God, this shit was amazing.
It was.
This put Disney to shame, kind of shit. Like Disney can't draw a building crumbling like those folks over there did with Metropolis.
Hell no, man.
Like it has to be like a big explosion or
like,
a piece falls off.
Because Disney rarely ever focuses, or I don't want to say focus. They rarely ever put the effort into backgrounds. Like a lot of their focus is on like the characters and movements and everything. So I get it.
Yeah.
Like that's fair. But like if you know,
yeah,
I was like if you notice like a lot of the backgrounds in Disney movies are static. Like there's not a lot going on in the back at all.
Beautiful paintings, but
right?
Just like
early Star Wars.
Oof. They were just putting like little fucking firecrackers and models. And
putting figures over paintings and just you got to do what you got to do.
Hey man, he made only $200 billion over his life.
Multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Doesn't have to work another day in his life.
He hasn't had to for decades.
He almost killed it all with Howard the Duck, but I mean,
Bruh.
he fucking. I want to see a modern Marvel remake of Howard the Duck.
I don't.
That shit would be like with the fucking modern animation. Like we could do a Who Framed Roger Rabbit shit in there.
I don't.
I want to see a duck fuck Scarlett Johansson.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
Go ahead. Let's get Howard the Duck cross Black Widow.
I don't want to see that.
Howard the Duck cross Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
Let him live in infamy, bro. Like let him just be like a perpetual meme.
He does not get a second chance.
He doesn't.
He has to be life's example that sometimes you don't get second chances.
It's like, you know what? If DC does like a crypto movie. And I know it's going to be shitty because it's fucking DC.
Oh,
but like if DC does like a shitty Crypto the Superdog movie, then we can get a Howard the Duck.
Alright. Well, let's get DC, get on this shit. Because we got to
get your failure out of the way so we can get ours. So we can get ours out of the way.
Well, DC only steals from Marvel anyway, so Howard the Duck has to go first.
It's poorly steals. Well, Howard the Duck's technically already gone. He was in the 80s.
Well, modern stuff.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, let them do Crypto first.
Well, that's about as much effort I'm gonna put in on Howard the Duck. So.
Yeah, right.
I'm done here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about with Howard the Duck. So, how's your week been?
I'm good, man. Like, just work, video games, Hose Matt,
Hose Fatal Fury,
Hose. It's Big Mad. We're gonna talk about that later, though. I want to save that for last because that was
Mega Boys. We're back.
That was what Pro Mega 330. Because that was
trailer
personal.
Oh my God! I mean, I was actually dancing in my house when I saw that shit.
That shit was lit, dude.
I was like, they did that right. All the right sprites and shit. All right, we'll save it for later.
We'll say that shit for later, man. Like. I'm tired of having agendas pushed on me, bro. Like Nintendo and their crossover DLC agenda.
Oh my god. Some agendas are just too cruel. I can't believe they actually put out DLC that I want and make me have to spend money for it.
Think of the children.
Fucking hell. You know how much?
Think of the kids.
You know what that $20 could have went to, Nintendo?
No.
Making America great again.
Oh my god.
There's a fucker that was on one of the streets, actually. He had a big tent, or one of those little canopy things, and a whole table full of MAGA shit, like t-shirts, hats, and he had a big-ass American flag and a big-ass Trump 2020 flag. And he was just sitting under there tweeting or texting in the shade. I was like, what if I just swerve off on the road
Jesus Christ.
and just run it all over? I wonder if he'll become like a martyr. And it's like,
In
Obi-Wan.
somebody's eyes.
It's like, you strike me down and I'll come back more powerful than you could ever imagine.
So he just comes back as a MAGA hat. Just like I don't sell the material anymore. I am the material. Fucker.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
He comes back like Monica. He's just a concept.
Is it right? Is
He's
this
just like,
I'm fucking ethereal.
he saves MAGA people every time they die and route them to Trump heaven.
Dr. MAGA Hatton. It's done.
Watchmen, the series.
So
That sounds like a CW series, honestly.
it probably would be.
All right.
So we're back on the conservation of the heteronormative narrative,
woo! Gotta
Jonathan.
protect little penis.
And I just need straight folks to understand, y'all are not the odd man out in this world. Like for years, decades, centuries, millennia, shit has been predicated on the idea of heterosexuality. Shit has been tailored to heterosexuality. Anchored.
It's been the presumed
normal. It's been the
yeah.
presumed normal.
Yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot of things. We went over this a few weeks ago with the Arthur thing and how people were losing their shit. And this week there was a particular tweet that kind of got a little got some headway, went viral a little bit. And it's from a Larry Johnson, who is a retired NFL player, who let the world know about his thoughts on the world in general, let's say it that way. So I'm just going to read it out, just top to bottom, and then I guess we'll
Let me have it.
have a few words. Let me hear it. Okay, well, this is from Mr. Larry Johnson. There is an effeminate agenda going on amongst the NBA and NFL elite, peddled by high-ranking Masons/handlers to indoctrinate the heterosexual sports world without them knowing, for the buying power. This is a clincher, for the buying power of the LGBTQ community. Ellipses. But we're not ready to have that conversation yet.
It's because there's no conversation to have, man. Like, anytime something changes outside of what people perceive to be the norm, somebody has to be pushing an agenda. Like, you realize gay people, okay, let me break this down. Gay men have been around forever.
Yes.
Lesbians have been around forever.
Yes.
Transsexuals in some capacity have been around forever.
Yes.
Non-binary, agender, asexual, that's not new shit. That shit
so
that's
straight
been
people
around.
as well.
Right.
But guess which one got the fucking favoritism?
Right. The majority, which is historically how that shit goes. Like, history is written by the winners. those people did not stand a chance because, especially back in the olden days, any deviation from the perceived norm was basically a death sentence in certain cultures.
That's where the religion comes in.
Right.
That's where a lot of that religious idolatry and thought comes in.
But
from books written by men, I might add.
The thing, there's a bunch that I want to that I would like to dive into, but I don't want to make this podcast solely about that shit.
Yeah.
But every time like the LGBTQ plus community makes any type of moves or noise, people feel like it's a challenge.
Yeah,
like
that's what that straight pride parade.
Right,
shit
like straight people aren't the norm. Like society doesn't treat them like that's what they're supposed to be. Like dudes still don't have like a vice grip on most of the opportunities and power in the world. And like it's an old response that I said to somebody online. I was like, accountability feels like oppression when you come from a place of privilege. What the fuck does like anybody from the LGBTQ community having buying power in a sports franchise, how is that a negative thing? Well, the gag is some of them probably already do.
Yeah.
They just haven't made it known.
Yeah. No, there was a player that just came out recently said that
as
bisexual.
Right.
Yeah. And well, and here's, we can tear this thing apart from the effeminate agenda, and this is basically going into conspiracy theories and why they're all bullshit.
Right.
And why, people don't need to listen to them. And that's part of the reason why we have the geopolitical climate that we have in this country now. But I just want to focus on this for the buying power of the LGBTQ community. That needs some clarification.
Right.
Because last I checked, these motherfuckers can hardly get married.
Right.
Over in the country.
And you really think they're going to force somebody's hand in
football?
In football. That is entrenched in excessive masculinity.
I mean, what?
Like y'all motherfuckers trip out when dudes come out as bi.
Yeah.
Like basically like if this man don't have like hella hoes and constantly engage in, neurotypical heteronormative activity.
Right.
That nigga's an outcast.
Oh, obviously. Clearly. Clearly he is, a butt fucker.
God forbid this nigga want to listen to some fucking Mac DeMarco. Something outside of like just trap music, heavy metal, country, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like anything that would be considered, air quotes, soft. And you just like, you completely avoid that nigga like the plague.
I mean, it's just like, what buying power? Like, is there just like a big, like, monolithic,
if they were a
corporation in New York on Madison Avenue, just called LGBTQ.
Like,
they fucking said that we can't go out that way because people won't believe us, so they just called it McDonald's.
Right.
Like, this McDonald's just this secret LGBTQ corporation. You have to clarify some of this shit. There is an effeminate agenda. What agenda?
Like
fucking going out and acknowledging and recognizing them as equals?
How dare they? How dare they?
No, we can't do that. That would require me to actually question my preconceived notions about the world.
And I really need people to understand that, like, no matter how strongly you believe in something, you're never 100% one way. Everything falls on a spectrum. So, like, effeminate activities would be considered things that, women did basically eons ago. Right.
Like
hygiene.
Modern stuff. Yeah.
Fucking hygiene is considered effeminate.
It's like, because I remember, like, back in the day, you remember when you were kids and you would get dirt on your hands, like when you were out PE and all that other shit.
Yeah.
They'd go and say wash your hands and stuff, and the boys would just be like,
fuck that.
I want they were dirty clothes.
And some of you niggas never grew out of that shit.
Yeah, you smell, you stink.
And I'm like, I
mean, fucking like cleaning up your room,
making sure your shit's neat, or like wearing, just down clothes, like shit with like floral patterns. I'm like, I don't understand. I really don't understand how floral patterns got attached to strictly women.
I mean, flowers themselves.
Flowers, period.
Gardening. Like this, like when you're gardening, you are creating life.
Right.
Like
that's some hard shit to do.
This is Earth. Like you're on it.
Like you are literally making the Earth do what you want it to do.
Exactly.
How the fuck did that get relegated to just being feminine?
I don't understand.
And then and we can go back further than that. You remember like that weird era, like back in 2010, where niggas thought that like having basic hygiene and their low budget skincare routines was metrosexual. They tried to make that a whole thing, and I'm just like, bro, this is shit that I've been doing since I was a teenager. This was shit that was oddly taught to me by my father. Like having a decent skincare regimen. Like he took me to get, you know, pedicures, because they give you fucking feet. If you don't do anything but wash your feet dry out. Like all your cuticles and shit start to look busted.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with like grooming. Nigga, I cut my nails like every week and a half.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like having long nails that get in the way of shit and they're easier to get dirty. It's not hard.
Oh, yeah,
like being clean is not effeminate or gay.
It's hygienic. It's
Right.
like taking care of yourself. Like, and you know, people talk about physical because all right, so like I used to go to the gym like a hell of a lot more. If you saw me now, you wouldn't believe me, but trust me, I used to fucking go to the gym a hell of a lot. A lot of shit happened, okay? But I was around that gym culture, and you cannot believe the kind of just meat-headed kind of fucking attitude that seems like it belongs inside of a high school locker room.
Right.
That are going around
Niggas carried into adulthood.
Of all ages. I'm talking about, like, there are dudes with gray hair talking with young folks the exact same way.
That's
same language, all this other shit. I remember going
unironically.
Yeah, like, I mean, one time I remember, like, I went in there late. I was going to get a late workout in. And there was a gay couple, or just a couple of gays, on the treadmill. And they would be, you know, their mannerisms and things would be what you consider effeminate.
Right.
You know, not your traditional masculinity. They exist, you know, but it's not wrong to have one or the other. If you walk more like a female, that kind of thing.
Right.
You know, dudes are in the back room lifting weights, like, you know, barbells. One of them takes a peek out, and I'm on like the treadmill all the way down the way, and I see him out of the corner of my eye. One of them peeks out of the little weightlifting room, runs back in there, and he says, I can hear it. Hey, nigga, come look at this. And all three of his buddies come out and just stare at the gay couple and just start laughing. Just laughing. I mean, like, almost bent over, gasping for air.
Like,
and a couple of people running on a treadmill.
Like,
just, that's
straight niggas be weird, dog.
I don't understand. It's not even just straight, it's bigots.
Like,
it's like this inherent, like, what do they say? Inherent homophobia?
Yeah. Like, for me, it's a guise. Like, that's one thing that I've learned. Like, it's a mask. Cause, for one, people in all walks of life need to learn to leave other people the fuck alone. Honestly. That's like step number one.
Yeah.
Step number two, why the fuck is it that big of a deal? Like you act like gay people don't want to be fit.
Right.
Or like gay people can't exercise or go watch sporting events or be educated on cars.
Or like, doing it is somehow a joke.
It's a joke. Like that's not what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And
that's what it is.
And in my experience, most of the people that laugh at folks like that do it out of a place of jealousy, because they know that they see someone out living their life proudly, and they know that if they were to try to live theirs, you would have to give up some friends.
Right.
You might not be able to approach your family the same way.
Folks.
Right.
It's called growth.
And that's because, you know, you niggas have actually been indoctrinated by an actual agenda that told you, hey, especially in the black community, man, like, hey, if you do that, I don't know you no more.
Right.
And like, you've lived your whole life based around that fear. Because like, I'm not a crackhead, bro. Like, you put me in a room full of crack, I'm gonna look at that shit and be like, okay, cool, but you know who gonna try to get some? crackheads.
Yeah.
Same thing, like you see gay niggas out. Okay, cool. Whatever.
All right, yeah. Cool. I'm moving on. But you kind of touched on it right there. Like, the irony of Larry Johnson's tweet is that it's coming from a place of indoctrination.
Right.
That's the only reason why he even thinks that this is something that he can say with a straight face.
Right.
Think he's not going to get roasted.
Right.
Or if he anticipates the roasting, it's because I'm still right, but they're all wrong.
Right.
You know?
It's not. It can never be a. Hey, these people that live this every day, that collective is right, and I'm the one that needs to do some introspection and change my opinion. It's I'm right. This is why the millions of y'all are wrong.
Yeah, honestly, that's I mean, what else are you supposed to do? I'm going to add something on because you said it was jealousy. I'm going to say it's fear.
Yeah.
What is the most jarring thing for a guy that he's fucking doing? He's lived his life the same way, the same time, all this time.
Change.
Because he said, yeah, exactly. If he changes this, what if he actually changes it and he finds out,
I like
just
this.
like them,
right.
I might be a homosexual.
Because you lived your whole life on an us and them narrative, man.
Dichotomy.
Like, and like I said earlier, like people need to realize that everything is on a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even you can find like the quote unquote manliest, straightest man on the planet, and I guarantee you some of the shit that he does, well, it might be minute. Some of the shit that he does and says would probably be considered effeminate.
Well, and that's, I think, where the whole effeminate word is kind of like troubling, I guess I should say.
Yeah, because like they're trying to use
effeminate. Some people use cooking as effeminate.
Which I fucking love to cook, man. I gotta eat, nigga. Like that's
Like,
how's that a feminine activity? Like
I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook.
Right, like you niggas were just raised a certain way to think that a woman's exclusive job is to basically be your soul maid.
Yeah, it's
like,
not soulmate.
And like, and basically like she's supposed to cook every time. She's supposed to clean everything. She's supposed to do your laundry, and you basically just exist.
Yeah, I work and I bring home the money. She takes care of the house. She does this and she does that. And that's her job and that's mine.
Right,
it's
and
like,
and I was raised to want a woman, never
right.
to need one.
Yeah,
like I appreciate the things that a woman would do in my life, or that my girlfriend does in my life. Yeah. I appreciate that shit.
Absolutely.
But I'm 100% capable of doing it myself. Should she not be here?
Exactly.
Like,
that's the point.
I don't ever want to like get off work and be like, well, damn, I gotta wait for her to get home to cook.
Oh my god.
Nigga, I enjoy cooking. First of all, I enjoy cooking because I'm fat. Yeah. Second of all, I enjoy cooking because it's a skill. That is a skill thing. Like, not everybody can cook shit. Like that, I'm willing to admit that shit. But like, it's not a hard trait to learn.
Exactly.
If you get up out your fucking feelings.
Yeah, it's just like, people sit around watching NFL football highlights on YouTube every day. I watch Binging with Babish and Tasty.
Yeah.
Like, last night I made some like he had this hamburger recipe like called squash burgers. Mm-hmm. You have to go out to fucking Home Depot and get the right thing to make them burgers right. So you can make like Steak and Shake. I made those bitches last night. That's the only burgers I'm making for the rest of my life.
Also, like just a tangent. I don't want to go on too far of a tangent. Get a pellet grill. You heard of those?
Yes.
Get that shit.
You have one?
No.
Oh.
I've seen one in use and I've tasted the food from it.
Oh yeah?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I saw that on Joe Rogan actually. Joe Rogan was talking about his, and I was like, that seems like a very interesting. It seems like a very like, eco-friendly too.
Yeah, it is, because like it's not burning like coal.
Right.
Coal. They're basically like ground or formed wood.
Right.
But that's actually, I can make a point off of that, because like niggas will grill themselves to death.
Oh yeah.
But somehow making a squash casserole is considered effeminate.
Eating your vegetables is considered effeminate.
It's like, oh my god, nigga, you have a body rag and a face rag? That's bitch shit. Okay. I mean,
I know that you don't wipe your ass.
Enjoy.
Or if you do, you wipe your ass with the same
Right.
rag.
Enjoy the dormant nut sauce that you just put all over your fucking face.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Fucking.
Like, it's just little shit like that. Shit that I grew up that I never considered effeminate.
Right.
And it might have been due in part because it was taught to me by another man.
Right.
But I'm like,
But that just proves the point.
that shit just makes sense.
Right.
Like, why would I wash my face, right?
Right.
With the same rag that I just used to clean my body? Because you're not gonna get that rag 100% clean till you put that shit in the washing machine. That's just how that goes.
Yeah.
You can lather that bitch all you want to. It's still like dead skin and dust and all the particles in the air still on there.
Yeah, you just wiping all that shit, and especially like I said, I wipe my ass with that rag.
You're right. No, not about to put that shit on my face.
Yeah,
or in my eyes.
That's why I don't know about you, but I don't use bar soap. Like, I don't use bar soap because like
I use Dove because it doesn't leave that film on your skin.
Oh yeah.
Cucumber, actually, the cucumber Dove. That's my shit.
Okay, but you lather it up with the rag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people that just use the soap, like just the bar on their skin, like in the commercials.
No, that's not how you bathe. And before you ask, yes, they are, because I know exactly what type of people bathe with those. So.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it.
They are.
I
Yes, they are. I don't even need to ask you. I don't even need to ask you who it was. I know what category of human they belong to.
You know it.
100%.
I mean, I went into that bathroom when I had my roommate, and I saw that
hair on that bitch.
I was like, Dave Chappelle was right. Dave was right.
Like, that nigga got hair all over that bitch. I'm like, bro. Why would that's yours, nigga? That's your bar of soap now, bro. I'm not finna use this shit.
I think it was. I think it was understood. That's the reason why they was on it.
Because I'm like, that means one or two things happen. Either you skip the hot spots, or you hit the hot spots. Both bad.
Yeah.
I ain't touching this. Like, I will never understand.
I don't even want to get in the same tub with you.
Low key don't.
Because
I'm like, basically, you just went in there and like rinse that shit onto the floor.
Oh
like,
my God.
Because you're not clean.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're not
like,
clean.
Yeah, no. It's like oh god. When that happened, I was just like, this is not okay. This isn't good. No, I didn't know this. I thought it was a joke.
No.
Dave was right.
That's real.
Dave was right.
That's
Dave
real.
2020. Chappelle 2020.
But like, there is no, like, these people want access. They want access to the same shit that we have access to. They don't want to be ostracized.
They just want to.
They
just want to be basically left alone.
Right. They want to be able to live the way that we've lived for years.
And it's like the fucking insecurity of these people.
And if that's an agenda, I guess.
Okay, well, that's an agenda worth going for. Then,
right, like
that means that we're fighting for equality.
Like, that's the type of agendas we need to see more of. It's like, hey, I should be allowed in the same space as you without being made to feel like a second-class human. Cool. Push the fuck out of that agenda.
Fucking, like, if this was a Christian instead of a gay person, you know how many people would be burning down things and marching and standing inside and being like, we shall overcome.
Kumbaya and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, this fucking, it's just because it's not your demographic doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for, bud. Because you're going to be on the other end. Right. Because we're all made up of a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So.
And, like, the thing that kind of, like, sent it over the edge for me was, like, you know how he ended it trying to be snarky. It's like, but we not ready to have that conversation yet.
We've been having this conversation for a long ass time. You just ain't been paying attention.
I'm like, straight folks are not ready to have that conversation because it's a losing conversation.
Yeah.
Just like most other people in this country that aren't minorities, y'all, that's a losing conversation for y'all because history backs it up.
Right.
Like, you can't, pushing an agenda is basically forcing someone to go along with something by power of influence.
Right.
The LGBTQ community saying, "Hey, we wanna be shareholders in an NFL team" is not a gay agenda.
Right.
Showing a gay couple or a polyamorous couple or a bisexual man on TV is not pushing an agenda.
Yeah.
Those things exist. If your children are old enough to understand heterosexual relationships in media, by all means, they can understand homosexual relationships.
There's
in
no,
media.
I mean, all it is excuses. It's
Because
just excuses to try and keep his fucking precious little viewpoints of the world intact.
That tunnel.
Yeah, that tunnel vision. So while he's heading right for that he thinks it's a light, it's actually a fucking train coming to hit him. With fucking called progress that's gonna run his ass over, just like everyone else. But
I'm just like, y'all cherry pick. I hate cherry picking, man. Like, I really do.
It's disgusting. It's stupid.
It's like, just get over it. Gay people are here. Bi people are here. Trans, queer.
All the motherfuckers is here.
All of them are here.
I mean,
they've been here.
You gotta grow up, man. It's called change, Doug. It's called change. Y'all can't be out here thinking and acting the same way and expecting like.
Stop. Just stop telling men that like holding hands and cuddling with a woman is gay shit. That's real. I have heard and seen that conversation. Is like, nigga, I don't cuddle with my girl. What kind of soft shit is that? I don't eat for what?
Because
I love that shit.
Like that, because DJ Khaled's excuse is
I don't
like,
eat pussy because I'm a king, but she should suck my dick
because she's the queen and she should be serving to me. You are a fucking. You don't look like a pig. You really are a fucking.
It's like,
pig.
you're a clown, nigga. That's clown. That's iPhone energy, bro.
Oh, that's iPhone.
It's like, that's that iPhone shit,
that's
dog.
that Steve Jobs shit. Dude.
Like, it really is, man. I'm like, first law of alchemy. Like, you put mine in your mouth, I'm probably gonna put yours in mine. That's how that goes.
I mean, like, it's just like equivalent. Like, for me, it's like give to receive.
Exactly.
Like, that's just. I don't understand like the things that, because I mean, if we made a list of all the things that society considers effeminate, just like that fringe area, because I'll give some of you motherfuckers the benefit of the doubt and just say you needed somebody to tell you that it's okay to say that's just whack. You know, like if you really truly do believe cuddling with your girl
is gay, what the fuck is gay about cuddling with a woman? Girl. Why is holding hands considered soft shit?
I've never understood. Like
basically,
like that's like required.
Like, bro, hetero culture is like extremely fucking toxic, bro. Like, that's just
like,
wild.
I think it's just the people who are like, because they always say they're minor people, but they have the loudest voices.
Right. It's a very vocal minority.
Because like hetero culture, to me, I don't even know how do you even define it. Because like to me, if you're basing it off of just being straight, it's just like that's just like one aspect. But then it's like I understand it still, because it's like if you're hetero, then you're supposed to be like the man is supposed to be the one that beats the breadwinner, right?
Yeah.
And the woman's supposed to be the one that takes care of the home and do this and do that.
And most of you niggas can't do that.
Yeah, I mean it's like, oh yeah, some unemployed ass motherfuckers or two fucking part-time job ass niggas. Fucking goddamn smoke weed, got weed money, but they got gas money ass niggas. Can't wash my hands and shit, but I know how to roll a blunt 3 different ways ass niggas.
I'm just like you basically see women just for head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nigga, you don't even realize how gay that shit actually sounds, bro. You'll never want to enter a woman, bro. You just want your dick sucked all the time.
Your dick sucked. You want to fucking use her as like a pocket pussy, basically.
Like,
and you know, it actually has a negative effect on the women, I think, as well, because like if you go on to Instagram, right, you get these Instagram women who do the sex work and sells pictures and videos, OnlyFans, minutes, all that stuff. I can't help but feel like this is just like the result of the culture more than, because there is a market for this stuff.
Right, of course.
There is a market for it.
On both sides.
Yeah, on both sides. But the idea that, because it's not the fact that they do the sex work, it's the fact that some of them have this way of talking to the men as if like all you are is a paycheck.
I mean,
basically it is when you think about it from the workplace side. But a lot of them, they don't want comments. They don't want messages.
Ooh, can we save this for next week? Ooh, can we save it? Bruh, can we please save this shit for next week? Because we gonna talk about sex workers next week.
Okay.
Fuck that. Like, keep that keep that in the back of your head, because like there is a whole. I could do an entire podcast on like rabid sex worker culture, but next week.
Just to clarify, I find that to be insulting to the customer, and not only that, but I find it to be a result of the heterosexual idea that the man thinks that the woman is nothing but an object, so the woman treats the man as the same. And so when
save it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Boy.
Oh man, we're rolling now.
Boy.
We're rolling now, boy. We getting topics out of conversations and shit. Okay.
Like to sum it up, leave everybody. Everybody leave each other alone, but especially leave marginalized people alone.
If they ain't fucking you, if they ain't paying you, they ain't none of your business.
Right. Because I'm like, they just want to live like you do. And like, being part of that community does not exempt you from being a bad person or being toxic. Yeah. That's not what we're saying. Like that shit doesn't give you just this immunity veil.
No. You could be a cunt.
Right.
Straight
or
gay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like we still gonna treat you like people, and people are bad sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like that to me was always about what equality was about.
Right.
Like it was like, some people treat it like, hey, if you're straight and you insult a trans person, you're
transphobic. I'm like, no, this motherfucker's just an asshole.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the community when I call
when I call this one person
a fucking asshole.
When I call this one person out on their shit, that's not me hating the entire community.
And that's part of the.
Y'all gotta learn that. That'll come. That'll come. Like right now, it's the era where before you reach true progress, where nobody's sure what to let slide and what to get offended by. So to be safe, they get offended by everything.
Yeah,
I get it. Like it took me a while to get that was what was happening. Like with the social climate,
right?
But like now I get it, because now y'all some people are slowly learning. Okay, well, you can be this way and still be an asshole. Like. Your state of mind isn't exclusive to your gender identity or your sexuality.
Absolutely.
And having that gender identity or sexuality doesn't exclude you from criticism.
Exactly.
So it's coming. It's just a slow crawl. Anyway, I'm gonna renew my fucking Nintendo Switch Online.
Nice segue.
Cause they got me.
Oops.
They gave me exactly one of the things. I won't say exactly, but like they gave me one of the things that I fucking wanted, which was the SNES games, John.
Yes.
Those are some of my favorite games ever.
I don't understand why they even started with the NES. Like that was just a waste of time. They could have been just doing the SNES the whole time. Like, people would have been buying the membership.
Who the fuck? Who really remembers tennis from the NES? When you think NES, you think Mario, the original Legend of Zelda, maybe Metroid. Because I mean, Metroid didn't really get like a huge following until Super Metroid.
Yeah, but the people that played it, because the thing about that was like, Samus is a girl.
Oh wow, shocker!
Like, oh my god, she's a girl.
Matter of fact, let's run through what games are on the NES library. Did I save my Astral Chain file?
How is Astral Chain, by the way?
Fucking good.
Yeah, fucking good, not excellent.
Fucking good is better than excellent.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna make me close that. I'm gonna look up a list. But like, it's like a lot of the games are games that you'd expect. Gradius. Oddly enough, Ghosts and Goblins wasn't on it.
Super Ghosts and Goblins wasn't?
Well, Super is. Like, it's on the SNES Classic, but it's not on.
Oh wait, you're talking about the original?
Yeah. Neither was fucking Metal Gear. The first Metal Gear wasn't part of the NES collection. No.
Ain't nobody, what's his name? Fucking called them up directly and said, nah, don't put that out there.
Don't, fuck that. I don't want that.
We're trying to get this baby in a pod game out. Wherever the fuck that's supposed to be.
So, outside of the major Nintendo games, here are some of the games that are on NES.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Just leave it there.
I could just hang it up right there. Ghosts and Goblins got added. You have Ice Climber, which has never been a popular game.
I swear to God, the only reason why Ice Climbers is known now is because of
Smash Bros?
Yeah.
That's like, it's Smash Bros.
Like,
that's the only reason that anybody that wasn't born in like 1980 or wasn't born before 1987 knows who the Ice Climbers are.
Honest to God, because like it's the only conversation with Ice Climbers is should we ban them?
Pretty much. There's ice hockey.
Woo, not even NHL, just ice hockey.
Ice hockey. This was before like sports, like this is before franchises were branding their games. The original Mario Brothers, the one that's not a platformer, that is a versus game. Yeah. Pro wrestling. Soccer. Tecmo Bowl is only popular, well, is only remembered because of the glitches. Bo Jackson, the fastest character in the game, and if you run towards the sideline, I almost said foul line. If you run towards the sideline, you are uncatchable.
Exactly.
Regular ass tennis. NES Open Tournament golf.
I never figured out how to play that.
Solomon's Key. Remember that franchise and its longevity?
Oh my God, I think about Solomon's Key now.
Mighty Bomb Jack.
Oh, that ugly motherfucker. Look at that character. He's ugly as shit.
The Adventures of Lolo. Yeah, I never heard of that until NES Online. I'm not gonna lie.
That's not been a very exciting adventure.
Clue Land.
What the fuck you call me?
That
shit sounds like a racist shit.
Ku Klux Klan. City Connection.
Oh, fucking Sims before the Sims. Breaking new ground here.
Volleyball.
Jesus.
Wrecking Crew. And the most recent one, Vice Project Doom. Vice Project Doom is actually fun, but like, nobody. These are games that nobody fucking cares.
Vice Project Doom. That sounds like an indie game now.
Like nobody fucking cares about those goddamn games.
It's like, let's just go ahead and get to the Super Nintendo. I mean, like, who? I'm trying to think. Who's the audience outside of either the streamers or hardcore gamers would be doing that?
We're playing the NES games? Yeah. Nobody?
Yeah, like, I mean, because, like, people who were born before 1987, they got PlayStation and Xbox right now. They're still playing games. So, it's like, they're not going to waste their time on NES or shit.
Right. Especially not those games. Yeah. Like, I went back, because there are a couple of bangers there. Like, Ninja Gaiden's there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Lost Levels from Mario.
Did they have any of the Castlevania games on the NES?
I think the first one.
Yeah.
And, like, so, you know, like, just... basically the franchises that survived past the NES.
Yeah, that's the only ones you would be like it's like going back and trying to play like.
And now that we have the Super NES, nigga, I'm never gonna go back and play these shits.
Oh fuck no!
Because every game that's on there has a better game on the SNES.
Yeah.
Like Super Metroid is like that's top two Metroid games for me. Fucking Super Mario World is one of my favorite video games ever.
All time.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right? You also have the first Star Fox. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You got Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I think there's a Final Fantasy on there. It doesn't matter because 4, 5, and 6 all slap. Mm-hmm. It's just like those franchises, basically everything that survived past the NES.
Right.
And I'm like, now that you gave me this, I really don't see the purpose of NES because I'm not gonna play fucking Excitebike.
No, the only time I played an Excitebike is on Mario Kart.
Right.
So,
and like the only game that I played past the introduction of Nintendo Switch Online was Ninja Gaiden because like that was a very nostalgic game for me because me, my sister, and my cousin that's now dead all used to like try to take turns and beat that game. And now I'm to the point where I can basically beat that shit with my eyes closed. Because like I went and watched speed runs, I practiced it, all of that. So like there's some attachment to those.
Right.
Nobody's fucking attached to volleyball. Nobody holds a special place for fucking Clue Land.
Hey, I'm a Cuckoo Land expert, don't you
Mighty
understand?
Bomb Jack.
I was the Cuckoo Land master in 1988.
Mighty Bomb Jack to me seems like it was a game that was trash back then. Like, and granted, like I I've played some shit games, man.
Yeah.
But like, it comes from that era of games where it's like, hey, we're not going to explain too much. Just go in there, see if you can figure it out.
Here's the controls.
Which is fine, because that's how the first Zelda game was. That's how Castlevania was.
Right.
That's how Metroid was.
Yeah, Metroid has the Easter eggs that you can go find.
But with those games, it's like, oh, okay, well, this was intended for me to, you know, explore.
Exactly.
Explore and figure shit out. Mighty Bomb Jack is level based, for one. So there are, you know, tiers of levels that you have to go through. And it doesn't do a good job of explaining shit.
Yeah.
Like the Mega Man games, hey, we're gonna throw you a moving platform on a rail, and there's a gap in it, and when that gap comes over, the platform will drop you.
Yeah.
Cool, you got it. Next screen, here's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Conveyance.
Right. Yeah.
Mighty Bomb Jack.
level design.
It's like, hey, get this bomb, but sometimes it doesn't blow up certain objects that look like other objects that you can blow up.
Yeah.
Also, here's an enemy, and you can't do anything to this enemy unless you have a bomb.
Have fun.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
If me at almost 30 will not play that game, I can't imagine that me at 5, when I had an NES, probably would have done much more with it.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's like those games are just trash. I'm done talking about it. Fuck them.
Right.
We're on Super Nintendo now.
Like I'm gonna renew, because like I said, fucking it's got some of my favorite games of all time on it, and they put them all up there. Like, look, Breath of Fire, right?
Woo!
Demon's Crest, F-Zero, Joe and Mac 2. I wish it would have been 1, because 2 has goofy weapons. Kirby's Dream Course, Dreamland 3, Pilot Wings, Stunt Race FX, Star Fox, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Mario Kart, Mario World 2, Metroid, Puyo Puyo 2, and of course we had to give you sports games, Super Soccer, Super Tennis, not playing that shit, and then A Link to the Past. Like most people's favorite Zelda game.
Yes.
Like, why the entire hell would I go back and play the NES library?
It's kind of tough unless you're like a collector who doesn't want to break out his cartridges and keep his like, for instance, for me, right? If they release a Dreamcast collection,
Oh yeah, that's bought.
I'll
That's
do
bought
that.
day one.
I day one, because they have some fucking Dreamcast at Second and Charles. I'm tempted to go buy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I want to break out some JoJo's, some Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I want to go ahead and break out some goddamn Power Stone 1 and 2.
Boy.
Fucking Capcom vs. SNK 2, man. I want to bring all that shit back out. Project Justice.
Boy.
But if I can have it on one
Device.
thing,
Yeah.
I'm breaking that shit out.
Oh.
Especially if you can just like hack it and then just download your own copies of the shit
Right.
yourself.
Because like we still haven't fixed the servers.
Right.
Like we still haven't fixed the online service itself.
Yeah.
And it's like it kind of goes back to this thing called, like, I think it's like NIH. It's a phrase that's like not integrated here or not made here. That's the reason that a lot of games that come from overseas, because they don't use the same thing that might be better than what they have,
Right.
Strictly based on the fact that it wasn't made there. So like that's why a lot of games, or super Japanese games, don't have very good netcode or online infrastructure.
Yeah.
It was because they didn't make it.
You know, it's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I was playing Tekken 7 online, and for the most part I would have a good, decent time.
Yeah.
But, you know, you get those hiccups.
Right.
And I was playing, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I played Tekken Tag 2 online, and it was about the same experience.
Yep.
One day I just decided, you know what, let me put in Senran Kagura. Now, you know, Senran Kagura, it has an online feature, but it's not a very AAA game.
That shit, no.
That's like a mid-budget game.
Cult
they
game.
call it.
It's a cult game.
Yeah, like, I decided to go online. Could not move an inch.
Of course not.
Oh my god, that was
course
the
not.
worst online experience I've ever had. They have no ability to upkeep their servers or use good servers in the first place. So it's like, not only is it that they're not made here, you have to have the money to have the shit
Right.
together in the first place, or you may as well just not do online at all.
Because it was back in the day, like back in the day of 2015,
right.
when Street Fighter V had their first beta, and they were trying to introduce their Kagemusha online engine.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that shit? When it was so good that you couldn't even get into the servers, even when the servers were not full. It was also so good that when you got into the servers, you were playing in slideshow mode. Innovative. No game ever before or since has done that.
Right.
It's fucking amazing. It doesn't exist anymore because they went back to GGPO, or an updated version of GGPO, which is rollback netcode, which still isn't that great.
Yeah.
But it's better than, hey, we made an engine completely from scratch that we're gonna use just because it was manufactured in Japan. And I'm like, y'all, you like at this point, you just gotta bite the bullet, man. Like, cause I'm like the Unreal Engine is the way to go for video games.
Right.
Capcom just got on that boat.
Yeah.
Because
They
even
used
going
Unreal 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used Unreal 4.
Because like they used MT Framework for Marvel 3. Like that was was not an Unreal game.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil, I want to say it was either 6 or 7 was the first one to use Unreal. Like, cause all the other ones were some other version of another engine that they had or like watered down Unreal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. I get y'all want to keep everything, homemade. But like, y'all shit sucks, dude.
I mean, it's like you should go for the thing that's the best, because like if Capcom, they should know this by now after the whole debacle with MVCI.
Right.
Like getting it right and making that initial first impression and getting it right does wonders for your game. Like, I mean, look at how many years Tekken 7's been out. And how
4 years.
This motherfucking
community has only gone up.
Yeah, it has not slowed down, and now we have a whole other season with Leroy
on the way. But like that, and that's just like the duality of the fighting game scene.
Yeah.
Like Tekken, to me, for one, has always been the superior series.
Absolutely.
Like when I play fighting games, I think about real life fights for the most part. Right. I can suspend disbelief for shit like Fighters and Project Justice and Dark Star, all that shit.
Yeah.
Like I can get rid of that. But like when I see humans that don't have any special powers or games that are basically mocap fighting games,
right?
All right, cool. Well, I should have use of all 3 dimensions. That's the first thing they get right.
Yep.
Like, it adds a layer of depth that's just not in 2D games, because you don't have to worry about controlling your movement as much, which moves can track, all of that shit.
When it's 2-dimensional, it's basically in front of you.
Right. It's in front of you. It's either high or low.
Yeah.
One of those. The character design in Street Fighter, to me, has always been generic. Since day one, it's always been generic. And you can tell that it's an 80s based series.
I mean,
because they have ripped gis, like military fatigues.
I mean, fucking DJ. Look at fucking he's a smiling shuffle.
And he's got rat tails.
Yeah.
Like Rat Tails died in the 90s when DJ was introduced to Street Fighter. Yeah. Like, that shit ain't been cool really never, but like especially now.
If they reintroduce him, he has to have dreads.
Right.
That's the only way that if they put him in. I don't even want his classic costume. Fuck that shit. Design is crazy as far as characters is concerned, because one thing about Tekken's design that I've always appreciated, every person from another place speaks their native language.
They speak their native language.
That shit, to me, is just like heartwarming.
And their costumes, for the most part, are representative of their cultures. For the most part. Like I said, you might get some deviation in the alt.
Right.
But like the third thing, it just feels better. Like the hits are satisfying to hit. Like there isn't too much bullshit, I guess I could say, in Tekken. Like even when I lose, I'm talking about even when I lose like 3 rounds to nothing, I still feel like, okay, there was something, I could learn, I could change.
It's a very it's a fighting game that doesn't hold your hand.
Right.
But because of its design, you can go and see where you need to improve.
Right.
Like with Street Fighter, there's it feels cheap when you lose.
Right.
Sometimes. It's like,
it was like there was literally nothing I could have done in that scenario.
It's like with Marvel. Like sometimes Marvel can seem like
just cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it because like that game was made to say fuck the traditional fighting game rules.
Yeah, especially like Marvel 2. Like if you look at old school fucking footage of Marvel 2 and how they went in.
That shit's just unfair.
Yeah, that shit is
I love that game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I absolutely love Marvel 2.
If they do come out with a Dreamcast thing, they better have Marvel 2
right.
on there.
But that shit's just 100% unfair, and I don't think anybody would argue against you on that.
Oh yeah, no. But at the same time, it was so much fun that you still kept coming back.
Right, like you just didn't. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? I know what this is. Either I'm gonna block it right or I'm not, because I know what the game plan is with XYZ character.
Yeah, everything about Marvel 2 was YOLO.
Right.
Defense, offense, everything was just like go in or go home.
And Street Fighter up until fucking 4.
Yeah.
Was solid like that. Like Third Strike, if I got my ass whooped in Third Strike, I understood exactly why I got my ass whooped in Third Strike.
Yeah, Third Strike is, like I said, and I think you agreed with me, was like the pinnacle.
Yeah,
of
that's like the magnum opus. Right.
From 4 on, it just got like 5 isn't even fun to me.
It's not. And a lot of people call it Job Fighter 5 because that shit feels like work. And I'd argue the point that hell, even Darkstalkers, with its last iteration in 1998, was one of, if not their best fucking fighting games.
Yeah, that was Vampire Savior?
Yeah, Vampire Savior.
Yeah.
And I was like, alright, cool. So this is like, you kind of expected that to be the norm going into the other generations. And I'm like, alright, cool. Well, the next Street Fighter will probably play like this. And it didn't. Because it was basically a 2.5D homage to Street Fighter 2, which I appreciate what Street Fighter 2 did for fighting games, but I think it's finally time to admit that Street Fighter 2 fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that is a fighting game where if you get hit 8 times, you die.
It wasn't even throw Tekken 2.
No. They didn't add, you could soften the throw, but you couldn't escape it.
Right.
Like, so basically if you got grabbed, the only thing you could do was mitigate like half the damage. There also wasn't
dash. That's how half the damage was, like the full damage was like
a quarter of your fucking life from a throw.
Yeah.
And like another thing that people don't know, dashing wasn't always in Street Fighter. That shit didn't get added until 3.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a decade of Street Fighter game if you count the original Street Fighter, and like, we'll count Final Fight just because it was Street Fighter 89. But like, that's a decade of games without that mechanic. KOF, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting all had run and roll mechanics.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Fatal Fury had the forward and backwards.
Yep. Like, they had both of those. A lot of the shit that people appreciate in Smash Bros. Actually came from fucking KOF. Like the special invitation to come to the tournament, that was KOF. Running, rolling mechanics, spot dodge, all of that shit originated from KOF.
And like people don't recognize that stuff, especially like the invitation. That's really funny. Because I don't know if you want to go and talk about the trailer.
Yeah, that's leading into it.
Yeah, that was a perfect segue. I give you props for that one. Because that fucking trailer, man.
It's godlike. It's such a good trailer.
I watched it like 17 times and I still get goosebumps every single fucking time.
Everybody got baited. It's like, hey, is it Kyo? Nah,
Rio?
Man. Is it Rio? Nah.
And they used the Art of Fighting intro.
Yeah.
They didn't even go KOF. They went to Art of Fighting.
And is it Geese? Nah, he gonna die too.
He fell off this building again.
He died.
How many times is he gonna fall off this goddamn building?
Is it Nakoru? No. Mama Haha missed the invitation.
She just has to be a really good Samurai Showdown game.
I guess nobody gets it. Oh wait, it's Terry.
And they use the fucking Fatal Fury Terry from Real About Fatal Fury.
Of course.
I love this fucking game.
Because like Terry Bogard is one of my favorite. I can call him a KOF character. Because like actually another thing that Smash Bros stole, the concept of crossovers.
Yeah,
because KOF is a crossover game.
Athena is from her own game.
Own Psycho Soldier.
Yeah,
like she's from Psycho Soldier. Then you have the people from Art of Fighting.
You have
Fatal Fury.
Fucking.
You have the original characters in KOF.
Yeah, and you also have Ikari Warriors.
Yeah, you also have Ikari Warriors.
Yep.
Technically Metal Slug.
They threw in
Because
Marco and SVC Chaos.
Yeah, and SVC Chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was, I think for all intents and purposes, KOF was the first crossover fighting game. I just don't think many people considered it a crossover because all of those franchises were SNK, but that's exactly what the fuck Smash was. That's what Smash was for the first two games.
Yeah.
It was all Nintendo franchises.
Exactly, yeah. So that's, that whole crossover thing. It's just that Nintendo took it way further.
Yeah,
you
like
fucking Cloud, and Lord knows we all know the history between Sony and Nintendo.
Right.
That's why that was such like a big deal.
Same thing with fucking Sonic back in Brawl.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I think that video was like the most watched video on YouTube for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
And it's still one of the most watched videos even in 2019. Cause that shit was impossible.
Yeah.
Cause that was at a point where Sega and Nintendo, well, people still thought that Sega and Nintendo absolutely hated each other because we were coming off the 90s with that whole rivalry.
Yeah, that whole shit.
And now it's like
great,
you finally get the chance to actually beat the shit out of Mario with Sonic. And a nigga from an M-rated game.
Mm-hmm.
Snake. Nobody saw that shit coming.
No.
It made sense to me because I was like, nigga, the first 2 fucking Metal Gear games were on the NES.
Yep, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
With this Snake. So, I got it.
Right.
But, like, I understand the hype. I get that.
No. It was a great thing. But now this Terry. Man.
Yeah, Ho's mad.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
Hoes are fatally furious.
Right. It's just the age gap. The age gap comes into play again, man. Like, there's a lot of people now that play Smash Bros. That weren't around when KOF or even Art of Fighting was popping.
Oh no!
So they don't know who the fuck.
If they looked at a Neo Geo cabinet, they'd be crazy because it's like it has 4 games. Well, first off, they wouldn't even know what a cabinet looks like.
Right.
But
like they don't know who Terry is, and I'm like, that man. I consider him as much of a fighting game icon as somebody like Kazuya or Ryu, Ken.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, he is.
Because he was the main character in that series of games.
Series.
He's one of the more popular characters in King of Fighters. His design's dope.
Yeah, he also had the Mark of the Wolves spinoff.
Right.
Where you had Rock.
Where you had older Terry.
Yeah.
And Rock was basically Terry from
Rock
the
was
Fatal
Terry
Fury games.
Right. Combination of the two. So, like, Terry has been around for a long ass time.
Ages.
And it's good that he's getting his due.
And
it's really good that he's getting his due.
And I forget the SNK character designer's name. Not the artist. I know the artist. That's fucking
Shinkiro, the goat.
It's a god. But like their character designer has future-proofed all of those characters because like they were designed in the 90s, but their outfits carry over very well because it's shit that you would see.
Right.
Like even with Iori shit, I was like, okay, I got like basically a bolero shirt with a long tailed dress shirt underneath.
Yeah, and then fucking skin tight.
And the goth pants.
Pants with the belt. Yeah.
And that, like, these are styles that still exist. Even
Hio's design is like that schoolboy.
Classic like
Japanese
the fucking the school kid outfit.
Like delinquent and all that. And like
even when it changes.
It'll work for him.
Right, and even when the shit changes, it's still fucking good.
Yeah, that nice little thriller jacket.
And Terry shit is like super 90s, but I'm like, I don't. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and it's wearing a cap and a fucking ripped vest.
Right, it's like
always better than ripped.
It's like punk. It's almost like punk style. Yeah, because he's got like the straight laced denim jeans, the Converses, the ripped vest.
Yeah, I mean he wears fucking chucks
with the fucking trucker hat.
I mean, and by the way, also shout out to Nintendo for putting the Fatal Fury on this cap.
Oh yeah. Not just leaving that shit white.
SNK be forgetting that shit or something.
Like
I don't even know.
He's not in those games. He's a King of Fighters character now.
Yeah,
Fatal Fury is never getting another
Fatal
game.
Fury. Oh my god, it's tragic. I was gonna go home and actually download because they have it on Switch. Real about Fatal Fury 2. I haven't played that game in years, man. But I was watching that shit.
And it's weird. Like SNK has this whole thing like. This whole continuity across the 3 games.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the Fatal Fury universe, canonically, Geese is dead.
Right.
But in the King of Fighters universe, he's still alive.
Yeah, they have a little multiverse, I guess.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, that's cool.
I accept it because I like Geese.
Right. Like, Geese is cool. That's a fucking dope guy. I hate his motions.
Yeah.
But, like, that's a cool fucking character.
Yeah.
But, like, y'all, and people are just fucking upset and confused. It's like, oh, nobody asked for Terry. I'm like, bro, Terry got put in Fighting EX layer. Terry is now in Smash. This is the third, air quotes, fighting game character that's been put in Smash. So it's not even nothing new. Y'all lost your shit with Ryu.
Oh my god.
Why not Terry? Somebody with actual personality.
Yeah.
Because this man is gonna be a fucking problem. Because he's gonna be the best parts of Captain Falcon and Ken. And I am fucking hype.
November.
As shit.
November.
Same fucking month that Leroy drops. So now I have to actually practice 2 games again. And I'm like, I've hit this point with Tekken where I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Let me relearn this character that I used to play back in the day. They're really fun. Let me go online. I still got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Next character. No point. Because, like, both of the characters that I wanted to learn, Lei and Fing, basically I'm going to drop both of them when Leroy comes out. Because I'm like, the Wing Chun is in that same vein of 5 Gates, as well as the Quan that Fing does. So, like, there's no point.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to have a character that does all of that shit, there it is. And he's black!
Yep.
He's
now that shit.
black!
He is old school. This man looked like he came out of, got them outfits from, like, he can get 3 suits for 100.
Yeah.
And that's looking like he like one of them. Like, he got like a whole dresser full of cologne.
Like, that man's hair and beard always smells amazing.
Yeah. Like,
He
kept that shit right.
He going on a date with your grandma tomorrow. But y'all, Smash community just being the Smash community and not knowing how to deal with shit.
Well,
Oh my god, who's this character?
I think it's an age group thing. Like, because it's getting newer and newer, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the fucking, like, old heads still will adore Melee.
Yeah.
You know, and Melee is, you know, love it or hate it, but
Still,
you know,
it's the worst one. I don't care what your opinion
it is a thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and when you watch Melee, it can be like a very hype filled thing because it's just how the game is designed. But Ultimate is very, very new. I think Nintendo Switch is one of the higher selling consoles, and it's because adults are buying it for their kids.
Right.
Because, you know, when you actually have like a nephew or some kid, you see how much parents just give them a tablet,
Right.
and
Just leave them alone.
Yeah, so that's what they do with the Nintendo Switch. So, like, all these youngins who are online all the time are going to complain about things. And when you introduce a character as classic as Terry, you and me, we remember when there were cabinets.
Right.
And we could go into like a Mazio's Pizza or CC's and see a Neo Geo cabinet or a Marvel cabinet. So when these characters come out, that's what we appreciate it. That's the reason why I appreciate them using the Jim Lee designs for the X-Men, Cyclops and Colossus for Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the X-Men. Because those are the X-Men I grew up with.
Right.
People would look at them and be like, where's Hugh Jackman? You know?
Because they grew up with the MCU. And I can respect that because there was shit when we were kids that we were just like, okay, I don't really know who that is. But like, once again, it just goes back to an age group thing.
Right.
We don't know who that is, but for some reason this company thinks it's relevant. Let's go learn why that is.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, I don't immediately recognize this character, therefore it sucks. Right, like, therefore it sucks. And I'm like, just like the older Smash community was like, y'all niggas banned Banjo yet? Because of the overreaction to Hero.
Right.
And I'm like, and I had to go back and look. I was like, a lot of the people that I was saying ban Hero really didn't grow up with shit like MSP. Like, y'all didn't grow up with shit like Third Strike Yun.
Yeah.
Or fucking In-Groove Sagat in CVS 2. Or Balrog back in the fucking alpha days.
Yeah.
Or even fucking Sophidia and Cassandra in Soul Calibur. Or Ivy. Like, y'all just didn't grow up with that shit. Like, y'all grew up in the era of balance patches.
Right.
Where like, oh, this shit is too good, let's tone it down.
Honestly.
That shit did not exist before. Like,
Yeah.
once the game was printed on the disc, that was the game until they made another one.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Because, like, it was actually funny about that. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, because Dead or Alive is my favorite series. And, like, I played Dead or Alive 3 for the Xbox. But I had the Platinum Edition. This is the updated version with Christy on the cover. And I had been playing that version for a long time. I went over to a friend's house, and he had Dead or Alive 3, the original copy. And I'm like, some of my Tina combos weren't working. Like, they messed with the frame data. And I'm just like...
Changes.
Yeah, and you didn't, like, they didn't even tell you. There were no patch notes.
No, there's no patch notes. It just came out.
Figure
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Play it and figure it out. And, like, Nintendo, I think, unironically, is doing that same shit because, for real, this is like Smash 4 was the first game that they ever really had to patch.
Right.
So like they didn't have the know-how that some of the other companies already did. It's like, okay, well, we changed this. This is what the change is, the numerical change.
Right.
Nintendo's just like, hey, we adjusted this. How, nigga? Like, I mean, this would have been fine like 2004. But like now that I'm like, you're giving us access to see what you've changed, I want to know what the fuck that translates to.
Yeah, you can give us frame data.
Like,
we'll understand it.
Like,
Nintendo,
did the hitbox get shortened? Is it safer on block? Like, you can't just say we adjusted this move for NES.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good.
Cool.
Thanks. I guess we gotta go to Beefy Smash Dudes.
Right. I guess I gotta.
Let them figure it
right.
out.
I guess I have to wait for a month.
Yeah.
for somebody with that technology to figure it out. Like, they've gotten better with it with
because
Ultimate.
They also do frame by frame. You can go frame by frame. In this trading mode.
But I'm not finna do that.
And I'm not
like,
gonna do that either.
I'm not finna do that for 32 moves for 77 characters, taking into account height and weight class and fault. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Nigga, you better tell me what the fuck this move does now. Like, it's way too many variables in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
For me to want to sit there and figure out, okay, well, this shit works on Pikachu, does it work on DK?
Unless it's my job, which is why I like Beefy Smash Dudes, Easum, all those guys,
Right.
King. When they go through and do the breakdowns, I'm paying attention because I know they know what they're talking about, and that's their job.
Right.
You know, so I can trust some of their shit. But I ain't about to do that shit. I'm just gonna go out, O's mad, just look for oomph or and just tide it over.
It's just a fucking knee-jerk reaction, man. It's like, ban him, he can one-hit kill, well, so can fucking Game & Watch, but this nigga's been in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no justification for the ban of Hero. There isn't. Like, there is not.
I don't ever go for banning. I don't care if it's Third Strike Yoon, Ingru Sagat,
Right.
fucking Cable in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
Like, people actually ban him in tournaments.
Because like those characters are the most difficult characters to beat. I'm not gonna say that shit's easy, but like, it's 100% possible to avoid most of their bullshit. Especially Magneto, man. Like, Mega Man, who is a mid-tier character in that game, is a direct counter to Magneto because he's too short. He falls out of most of his loops, and you can't really box jump him.
Yeah.
So you have options. Same thing, like if you touch Magneto, you could probably kill him in like a combo and a half.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have a lot of health. He doesn't have a lot of HP.
You have to remember too is that in Marvel too, like infinites were for everyone.
Everybody had one. It was just how easily could you access, that first hit to start it.
But you also have the option of having 3 characters, so you have the space for an infinite character.
Yep.
So you can make it happen with Marvel 2. Plus, it's just a fun game with a great soundtrack.
It is. It's just really fucking fun.
But with Hero, he was actually making me reconsider my no ban allowed fucking position because Black, all that shit, Magic Burst for the fucking edge guard.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy good.
It is
good, and it's RNG, so it's not like it's gonna cost MP. But at the same time,
it uses a resource, and you don't have a guarantee of getting it.
Exactly. So that's where I go. You know what?
It's fine.
Yeah. Sometimes it's gonna be luck of the draw. I've seen some tournament footage of people trying to use the suicide move.
Kamikaze?
Yeah, kamikaze.
No.
And they forget that they're on their last stock. So they blow themselves up.
Because I'm My thing is like I don't really think a character is just like any one character besides Joker is just like head and shoulders over everybody else. Mm-hmm. Like, and even as far as the band goes, like if it's not mechanically busted,
right?
Like if there's not something that just the game mechanics itself allows that character to abuse and exploit, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And once again, we grew up in a different era, so we have a different mindset about it. But I'm like, Hero's not gonna magic burst you every time you're off the stage.
Exactly.
However, Snake will definitely Nikita missile you every time you're off the stage, and y'all ain't said shit about that yet. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to keep it 100, Nikita missile, way better edge guard than magic burst. Right. It's controllable. Mm-hmm. You can hit it and it still goes.
Yep.
Magic burst is an orb. The worst that you could do would be snap to ledge, roll in, still get hit, and have to recover again. Like, that shit will not pin you to the blast zone like Nikita missile will.
Yeah.
Same thing with Peach and her, like, the chance to draw a Bob-omb out of the fucking radishes. Mm-hmm. And y'all ain't said shit about that.
Or a Stitch to get the fuck break shields.
Right. Game & Watch 9. With the 9 for Judgment. Yep. Y'all didn't say shit about that. That's RNG. All of that is RNG with the exception of Nikita missile.
Right.
So why ain't them niggas banned?
He has two of them. Flop and Thwack. He has Oomph and Thwack.
Well, Oomph just damage burst. That's just damage boost, rather. That's all Oomph does.
Oh, yeah. I'm naming the wrong one. I'm talking about
like
Dark Ball.
Thwack. Yeah. It's like there's Thwack.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thwack, 12% chance.
Oh, and the crits. I think that's people complain about the crits, too.
I mean, look, if somebody's using a smash attack on you, most of the time it's in a situation that will kill you anyway. That's why I don't have a problem with the crits. Those have, I think, an 8% chance to proc.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at least how I play, if I'm using a smash attack, it's going to kill.
Right.
It doing extra damage and knockback is immaterial when it was already going to kill in the first place. Yeah. I don't understand why that's the issue. At low percent, sure, because it's extra damage, but nigga, I'm not just going to be running around, smash attack, smash attack, smash attack, smash. No, it's a kill move.
Yeah.
So his neutral sucks. Like the man's normals are slow as fuck. Mm-hmm. So y'all are really just focusing on like the two things about his kit that you don't necessarily like or agree with.
We're not talking about like Smash 4 Bayo. Like people were trying to ban her too because of her aerials and
her ladder combos.
Yeah, she could just carry you off stage. Right. And so, it really came to a head when, like, at EVO, it was a Bayo versus Bayo Grand Finals.
Yep.
Like, that was when people were just like, okay, this is a fucking problem.
Right. Like, we gotta do something about that shit.
Yeah, so, they didn't even bother patching it because they were coming out with Ultimate. Mm-hmm. So, now, she's not nearly as bad.
Right.
Or as good, I guess I should say.
That's because Joker took her place.
Yeah, Joker is kind of,
Joker's out there. That man's a very privileged character.
Yeah.
I won't even say he's broken. Like, it's just the way he works makes him very privileged.
And it's like, he comes in, not only does he come in with, like, a great tool set, he comes in with a great soundtrack.
Right.
This motherfucker's got that Persona shit going on. And a great stage, too.
Mass Destruction is the only Persona song.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Well, either way, I don't know. How long have we been going?
Long enough.
Long enough?
Long enough.
Yeah. We'll save Michigan for next week.
Stay mad. Yeah. Stay mad. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Stay mad.
Pro Mega 330 boys. We out here. My emulator Neo Geo crew. We made it.
We made it.
Neo
Shouts out to Neo Final Burn Alpha. We out here.
Woo! Main boys. I know we all been trying to go ahead and get Virtual Fighter running on our old ass PCs, but goddamn it, we made it.
We made it.
God.
We made it into Smash, boys.
Yeah.